Hey, how you guys doing today? It's Andy from Superior Rubber again. Today, I'm going to be building a 2-inch Tiger Green EPDM hose. It's a black EPDM hose. It's cross-linked with a green wire and wear strip on it. We're going to make 4 25 footers, but I'm going to only show you one. First thing you want to do, cut your foil open, take your tape off. Sometimes the easiest way to pull it out is from the bottom. I got some marks on the floor that are kind of hard to see, but I'll pull it out to 50. And I'm going to cut at 25, which is right here. Just a regular Dixon hose knife. There's no wire reinforcement in this. It's just a plastic wire. Alright, there's 125. We want to put it up on our table. 2-inch, typically you don't need a hose pusher for it. Just a vise and a little bit of push. Before you put it in a vise, get a protective piece of rubber. Put it around the hose. That way when it's inside the vise, you don't damage the cover. Tighten it down. Plastic hose, a lot of times it's a little bit difficult to get the fitting into the hose. So what we like to do here is take a heat gun. You want to heat it up a little bit. What happens with heat, it makes things more pliable. And when this hose becomes more pliable, it provides us less resistance as we're trying to push the fitting in. You don't want to heat it up too much, because what will happen is it will actually melt and break down as you try to put your fitting into it. As you twist and put it in, it'll actually break and melt down the hose. But you don't want to heat it to a lesser extent, because then the purpose behind it is gone. You don't get enough heat on it. Kind of just have to feel it. It depends on the size of the hose, depends on what style plastic hose you're doing. But this is a half plastic, half rubber hose. Black EPDM rubber, green protective wear strip, and wire to keep it from kinking under suction or bend. Kind of heat it up really good. Get it good and hot. You'll know when. Kind of feel it out. That's probably about good. Next thing on this is I'm going to use a galvanized band clamp. It's just a regular galvanized steel clamp. We don't need to use stainless steel on this. It's obviously not food grade. It's going to be for septic pumping. I like to double band on my hoses. I like my band to equal up with the flat part of the hose shank on this 2-inch Kamlock cam and groove female fitting. Next thing we like to do is, this is a contact industrial contact cement called Plyo Bond. We don't use it for any adhering purpose, any way to adhere the fitting to the hose. But for some reason it provides an excellent lubricant on our non-food grade hoses. It's really good lubricant and really makes resistance on the shank to the hose very minimal. So you want to put some in here real good, put a little dab in there. Take your fitting, kind of put a little bit on the end of the shank there. Just brush it on. Now you're ready to go in. You want to push and twist at the same time. The twisting action makes it easier. While we're doing the other end, that gives us an opportunity for that to cool, because on a plastic hose, since it's pliable now and it's been heated, if you try to band it when it's hot, what'll happen is the bands can cut through the cover of the hose. Works both ways. Take your other end, kind of repeat the cycle all over again. Heat it up. There's some heat on it. Heat the inside. A lot of times what I do is just kind of squeeze it. Squeeze the cover. See how pliable it is. Kind of can gauge if you need more or less heat. Heat it up really good. 2-inch, that's good right there. Clamps. Check your clamp first. On the male, since there's no arms, if it goes over the top like that, you don't need to put your clamps on right away. Take your glue, stick a little bit on the end of the fitting, just like that. You can coat the whole shank if you really wish to, not really necessary. A little bit on the tube. Push twist in. Kind of cool this a little bit since we're ready to band. You can use your air gun to kind of cool it. We'll grab the other end and do that one first since that one's been sitting the longest of the two. Feels like it's good enough to go. On these band clamps, what you want to do is you want to have your strap at the opposite side of your arms. If you have your strap here where it breaks, a lot of times you won't be able to get your Kamlock cam and groove arm all the way down. You risk maybe having a pop off. You want these arms to be locked down as hard as they can go. So I like to have my straps with the flat end here where there's no cam and groove arm. Make sure your arm right here doesn't protrude or get in the way when you try to brake. Put it in your air machine, make sure you got your air hooked up. Bring it back, kind of watch your pressure gauge. Like to hit around 45. Down, crack it at 10. Sometimes the cutoff gets stuck in there. Bring your air cylinder back. This is a pneumatic tool. It does work on shop air. If you have problems knowing where to put your band clamp at, you can take another fitting and kind of measure it up, open end to open end. That'll kind of show you an inside picture of where your barbs are. Get a good idea. Start the other end. There you go. It'll lock itself down. 45. Break it off. Scrap there. Grab your other end. 2 clamps. Kind of just repeat the process. Check, make sure it's cool enough first. Bring it back. Break it off. Scrap it out. You can roll it up. There's no need to pressure test this hose assembly. There wouldn't be any kind of positive high pressure on this at any time. It's just a thin wall plastic hose, generally used for suction most of the time. It can be used for some light discharge or open end discharge, but not very much. Lay it there, get it ready for delivery. And again, thank you. This is Andy from Superior Rubber Company. Call us anytime, 513-621-4977, or check us out online at superiorrubber.com. Thank you.